All right, guys, how are you? I'm coming to you live again with another video. Um, Look, I know it's been a minute. I owe you guys some recordings. It just always gets really tough around the holidays, but I did want to come in and make sure I answered a couple of questions, okay, that I was asking you guys in the group, kind of what you need help with. So what I'm going to do is, this is going to be a real quick video. I'm just going to go through and I'm going to answer the questions that some folks submitted to me in our Dispute Facts group, okay? So I'm just going to come over to AutoFox, okay? So one of the questions that someone asked me was, is there a way to send a payment reminder a set amount of days before it's charged? Absolutely, right? Again, that is totally customer service 101. You got to give folks a payment reminder. You can see this is my demo account. So I don't really have too much automation set up in here, and that's by default because I like to come in here and show you guys how to do stuff from scratch. Okay, so when you come in, you can see Dispute Facts, I believe. Oh, look, I kind of started here, so that's kind of cheating. So let me delete that. Well, I might not delete it. I'm going to leave it there. But this is one I added. You can see I added this back. I added this one. But yeah, so Dispute Facts, I think they only give y'all three. You get 3 billing ones when a new invoice is created. You get one when payment failed, and then you also get one when the payment is successful, okay? So if you want to do one for a billing payment reminder, I'm going to show you really quickly how to set that up. I'm going to show you how to set that up for a manual invoice for folks who are doing manually going in and doing pay for delete. And I'm going to show you how to set it up for folks who are on monthly billing and doing reoccurring. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is come over to your AutoFox. You would click Add New AutoFox, but you can see I already did that here. So, and I named it already, so I'm just going to come in and I'm going to pick off where I left off. Okay, so I have the name here. Categories, I would probably put this in systems. You want this to be on auto. Conditions met. Let me back up. So when it says start conditions means, do you want this AutoFox to trigger automatically or do you want it to trigger manually? All right. Any billing stuff, you probably want it to do auto for the most part. Okay. Conditions met, any or all. It's only one condition, so you can leave it to any. If you wanted to have more than one condition, like basically saying you wanted more than one thing to happen before this would start, you would set it at all. Existing records, for the most part, will always be yes. Existing records means if you are building out a new AutoFox and you already have clients in the system and you want them to get this AutoFox as well when they meet these conditions, then you want to select yes, okay? Reoccurring rules is, hey, do you want this to repeat? For the most part, all of your billing automation should repeat, especially if you're billing monthly, okay? Suspension criteria would be, let's say if this was a situation where you was building this out and they had multiple steps, you would come in and you would do a suspension criteria. You would click enable, and then you would say, hey, I want this to stop whenever. Okay, and you just select one of these. But for payment reminders, you don't need that. Okay, so the start condition, okay, you see, you would come in, you would say reoccurring invoice due. And I normally set it for 2 days. I feel like a lot of companies do 2 days. 2 to 3 days I think is a good number. It's no right or wrong way. I've seen folks, I think 2 days is a good number. And I think of other companies, I feel like I normally get a text 2 days, a reminder. You can do 3 days, you can do a week, you can do whatever. It's no right or wrong way. They actually only give you 5-day notice, right? Because that's how I look at it too. Like, you don't want to give folks too much of advance notice because then they're going to forget, right? So you can do 1 day, 2-day notice, 3-day notice, 4-day notice, 5-day notice, or whatever. Okay, so I do 2 days. You want to come and hit save AutoFox, right? So you want to save your step 1, okay? Because these is your back house, okay? Step 2 is the action. So what do you want this to do? So when a reoccurring invoice sets up, what do you want it to do? All right, you have the option. You would come in, you would click new action. You have the option to send them an email. You can send them a text message if you have the ability to text. And as you probably know, my personal favorite is you can send them a push notification to the app. I love using the app. The app is free, so I'm going to pay for text messages, okay? You would just basically come in And I don't know, it's probably in my business because you guys know I do automation. So sometimes it's see like it's saying payment reminder app. You just come in. Here is your data variables, but I would just come in and say, hey, come in first name, right? I'm gonna say this is just and I don't know why I'm typing this out, but just to give you an illustration, right? This is just a friendly reminder that your upcoming, oops, I can't spell, y'all. It's the end of the day. That your upcoming invoice is due in 2 days and in case you're sending them, well, say if this was a text message, right? You still put the company name, they'd probably be like, who the heck is this? With so-and-so. Then you could put no action is, no action is required. And we will charge your card already on file, right? Or something to that effect, right? You can word this how you want it. Again, there's no right or wrong way. And then you can sign it. I normally like to do like a little dash or something, and then you can sign like who's this signed to, person or the sales rep or whoever, right? If you had templates, you could come in, put a template here, and just hit save. I like to copy and paste, so I'm going to do that. Because when I'm doing automations, I like to hit them with the wham, bam, 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 triple threat. So they're going to get an app. They're going to get it via text. Even though I can't really text right now by default, but I'm not really worrying about it. But for folks who can text, you probably want to come in, do a text message, same thing. And then you want to hit them again, and you probably want to do an email, right? You would just come in, make sure you put a subject, who you want the email to go from, and come in and basically do the same thing to let them know, like, hey, your stuff is coming up in 2 days. Here, if you're doing an email, you have more flexibility. You can actually come in and actually put these data variables in the email. I'm gonna go back and look. I don't think we have it available for text or app. I'm gonna check again, so don't quote me on that. But I know we have it on the email. So you could come in and say, hey, so-and-so, your next bill, put that data variable in the amount of, and you can actually put the billing date is due on that date, right? So, again, excellent. Throw them data variables in there, hit save. I'm going to come over and see. I don't think. Cause see, like a lot of times I be finding out stuff with y'all in real time too, because the 3Fox is famous for adding stuff in. And if it's something that they may consider small, they might don't do no huge, announcement, right? If it's something quick, and you can see here, you don't have the option to put that billing stuff in here. I feel like I asked them that though, so maybe I need to. If I didn't ask them, if y'all watching this video back, send a message to them like, hey, can we get the data variables here too, right? The same thing like how y'all just saw in the email, or we could say like, hey, what is the actual amount and when is the actual due date versus just saying, hey, your upcoming bill is due in 2 days, right? So yeah, that's it, and it's hit save, and then bam, the reoccurring, the monthly invoice, that's done, all right? Now, let's come in, and you want to do it for manual, right? So we would come in and say billing. Look, it's already in my business. Billing, manual, invoice due, same thing. System, existing records, yes. Do we want this to repeat? Yes. Start condition, we're going to come down, and we are going to do, let me find it. That's the recurring invoice, so manual invoice due in. Same thing, 2 days. I make it live because I don't have nobody in here. But when you're building this stuff out, you probably don't want to make it live yet. You probably want to hit the save it and pause until you finish building it out, okay? And then you just wash, rinse, repeat. The same thing you just saw me do. You just come in. You just come in and build it out the same way. Bam, give them a text message, give them an app, letting them know your bill is due. Blase, 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 right? Just to keep going, same thing, right? So payment reminder, this is a text I'm doing, and you can come in, you can do it for app, and you can come in and do it for email, okay? You guys got that? Pretty straightforward, okay? And that'll save you a lot of hard work, headache. It'll save a whole lot of stuff, okay? So, okay, so I know I got a couple of other questions that were asking me. I'm really looking at the live at the Facebook. So I'm really asking. I got a lot of questions about leads. How can we nurture leads in the system? I'm going to speak to that. I'm going to save that for last because there's some misinformation going on around. I'm going to come in. I'm going to answer the question about agreements because someone had posted in the group like, hey, is there a way that we can make our agreements super individualized where they can have that person's name multiple times, blah, 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 blah. And I am not in my account, but I'm going to show you how you can do this, right? Because absolutely, like, I'm really big as much as possible at following core and following CSR. I do not have one long, continuous, generic agreement. My agreement is actually broken out the way it is recommended to be broken out by core. So I have my federal disclosures, I have a privacy statement, I have an arbitrary statement, I have a bank draft authorization statement, I have a release of information to talk to their affiliates, I have a form to share their results because, the Speed Fox, they created the result and share. So I created a form to, agreement to give me the permission to share their results. And their name is mentioned a gazillion times in my agreement along with their social security number and birth date, right? So there is no mistaking that, hey, you signed this and this is you, all right? So what you want to do is you want to come into your settings, come over to portal settings, come over to client agreements. Again, this is a demo account, so it's pretty the standard what you guys see. When you come in, the Speed Foxes do give you a like a template, right? For a lot of folks, I recommend if you're just getting started, and I know a lot of folks, they so itchy, they ready to just get in, start making the money. A lot of folks use this, whatever, right? I'm not the credit repair police, but just know that this agreement is definitely not compliant. Especially if you are taking like folks from out of, different states or whatever. So like, yes, the Speed Fox, they do give you the federal disclosures, right? But it's no way possible that they can include the state disclosure in here, no matter where you are. Most states do have certain things that they want you to have in their agreement as well, all right? Particularly also if you're taking folks from out of state, you need to have, basically if you're taking folks from out of state, technically speaking, you're supposed to have an agreement for every state, right? That's one of the reasons why I don't be feeling like being bothered with taking people out of Maryland, because I'm like, look, I'm pretty sure I could do it, but I don't feel like it. So I just don't. But we'll talk more about that later, because I do have a resource for folks who do take folks out of state, and you want to get an agreement, something that's quick and affordable. If you can't afford to have an attorney write you up 50 different contracts with 50 different disclosures for all 50 different states, okay? But nonetheless, even here, like, I'm not sure why that person said that, because even in the Dispute Fox template agreement, all you doing is the data name variable is here numerous of times. You literally just come in and you just place the data variable name here. That's literally all you do. Come in, put it in. You can continue to just put that name in, right? This multiple times. It's no, even if you are using this template agreement, you can just continue to come in and do that, okay? You could come in, you could upload your own, add new agreement. Right, I could come in and I could continue to put that name in each. Like if you look at my agreement, that name is in there multiple times. Like you just come in, you just add it, and when you initiate the agreement to them in their file, the agreement is going to populate with their name in there every single time you put these data variables. Okay, so let me just come over and just show you. Let me highlight some data variables. That's really important that I use in my agreement. So outside of the name, the birth date, I do the last 4 of the social, not their whole complete social. I do the last 4. This is me personally. One thing I want to highlight is the date info. This is really, really important. Like, we were like super excited when they gave us this. So before, we used to be like, oh, your rights to cancel, you have 3 days from the day, right? But that's really an arbitrary date. Like, what the hell is 3 days from the day? Like, not all clients are going to register that. So the Sprufox actually gave us these data variables where it will automatically calculate for us basically the dates, right? So I'm in Maryland, it's 3 days. So from the date that they signed, today's date would be the date that the agreement is gone to them, that they open it up, that they're signing, right? And it's going to say 3 days from that day, right? It's going to automatically do the math, and it's going to be like, oh, you have until, let's just look. Let's just look in real time, right? Because the day is what, December 2nd? If I was to send this to somebody, it would tell them like, oh, you have until Thursday, December 5th at 11:59 p.m. to cancel this agreement. It's like super specific, right? So I know a lot of states do 5 days. So if you're in a state or you're taking clients from a state where they have a 5-day right to cancel, you would do this, right? Okay. And then they give you this option, X days. So instead of, if you don't want to use 1 through 5 and you want to give them additional time, or you're in some other real crazy state that says, hey, they got to have more than 5 days, you would come in and you would just put that number there for X, and then the Sprufox, the system will automatically calculate that date for you in the extra agreement. So it's no longer no arbitrary date. Again, helping you be super compliant with CROA, and also helping you be compliant with your state. If you're in a nosy state like mine, that require you to have a license, okay? So company info, super specific, right? I have all of my company info is always, and my agreements that's separated out, my company info is always at the top in my header, and it's always centered, okay? I see some folks too that even put their logo up here. That's like super cool. Put your logo up there, right? You put your logo and then your company name. You can do all that too. Pricing. So pricing is really super, again, something else, again, that's helping us be super compliant. Again, the Sprufox, like, it's one of the softwares I really became to love it because, like, one, it's so many ways to customize your stuff, and then two, they actually listen to us and take direction, right? So again, it became really interesting with TSR, where they were like, oh, it was like TSR and probably Core was too, like, oh, if you're charging during the cooling period and all this stuff, like, you had to have the full amount of the expected quote unquote cost of your full credit repair program in your contract, right? So that's how this came about. Okay, because who got time to be trying to sit here and do all that math? Okay, the Sprufox will do it for you if you just add these data variables, right? So real quick, first amount is your enrollment fee or your first work fee, whatever you call it. That's your first amount. You would put that in your contract. The monthly amount, self-explanatory, okay? Then it breaks it down for couples, all right? First amount for couples, monthly amount for couples, okay? Now, here is where it's doing the math for you, right? Particularly for folks who states require that you have the estimated cost of the credit repair service and your client agreement. You want to look at these two variables here. The initial price, so this is for individuals. The initial price plus times how many months, right? So basically you would put this, you would insert this here, right? And then for X, most folks do 12 months, so you would take the X and do 12, right? I used to do 6, so I had mine for 6, but then I was like, why am I doing 6? Like, because I'm not in a state that requires me a 6-month contract. So what I do is I do 12 months now, and then, but I do update my bank auto draft every 6 months, all right? So that's how that will work. And then basically, when you initiate the contract, the Sprufox is going to do this calculation for you, okay? So let's just say your initial price plus 12 months comes out to $15.99. It's going to say $15.99 is, and then, you still have to write out whatever you want to write out is your estimated. And I'm sorry, I cannot show you my contracts. I'm not in my agreement. But you would just basically come in and write it out and say, hey, blank, blank, blank is your estimated cost of services while in the program, right? You just come in and you just write it out, right? You just come in and write it out. Okay, and then they have two other ones. Okay, so for folks who maybe are not doing initial pricing and stuff, right? You could just come in and you could just do your monthly amount times whatever. So this is probably good for folks who are doing contract renewals. because they didn't have this in here. So this is what I mean when I say the Spree Fox just be adding stuff. But just how my brain worked, I automatically looked at it and I knew what this was. Because when I was doing 6-month contracts, I would go in and I wasn't using these. I would just do the math. But now I'm see that they actually added a monthly amount times how many months, right? A monthly amount for couples times how many months as well without doing the initial price, right? Because what I had to do is I would have to go back to the client's contract, make the initial amount 0, right? And then leave the monthly amount the same when it was time for them to renew when I was doing every 6 months, right? Because most of my folks stay with me longer than 6 months because just their goals, they have more items. So 6 months, I just felt like I was just creating more work for myself unnecessarily. So I changed it from 6 months to 12 months. Okay, so basically that's the agreement. Listen, if you guys are playing this back, let me know in the comments or back in the group if you have questions. It's pretty much straightforward. You can do a lot in here. Now, the limitations with the agreement that you can't do that I see other folks that they like to do is they want to have their clients sign on every page, right? If you want your client to sign on every page, you have to break out your agreement into each section of your agreement needs to be its own thing. That's the only way you want to do that. If you are someone who wants your client to initial that they're agreeing to dispute these items or initial this or initial that and then sign the bottom, you can't do that in here, right? So then you might have to use, another type of software or something else to send them the agreement if you want them to initial. And I know a lot of folks are moving towards that, having folks initial off on their disputes. Basically, having them agree, like, yes, do this one, no, don't do this one, yes, do that one, right? Because technically speaking, you could come in and just throw some stuff in here, but then, even then, that would still require some manual work, too, because you can see here, in their agreement data, they don't even include data variables for dispute info, right? So maybe that's a recommendation that we can submit to them, right? So for folks who do want to continue to maybe do that going forward, you can have that. But right now, you can't do that. Those are the limitations, but you can absolutely put your client name in there as many times as you goddamn please. Like, it's no secrets or anything around that, okay? All right, so coming back to AutoFox. So I saw some questions around doing lead nurturing campaigns. Again, I'm going to keep this short and sweet, and I'm not customer friendly, but technical savvy, right? Because when it comes to leads, you could get really funky with it, right? My stuff is really funky just because I'm a little advanced a little bit, but let's just keep it basic, right? Because you don't got to be advanced, you don't got to be funky, all right? So what I want to start is, one, let me just say for folks, automations are things that happen in your system after you already have leads in your system. Hello, okay? Automations are not marketing. Automations are not lead generation that's going to, get your people in there, right? You still have to do the work by, doing your own lead generation, your own marketing, and getting them in your CRM. Once they're in your CRM, then you can nurture them, okay? So one way that you can get folks into your CRM using the Spree Fox is using the Spree Fox forms, okay? I had just recently someone come up to me in my inbox and was like, hey, I was told that I need to use Go High Level because the Spree Fox, you cannot nurture people in the Spree Fox. And I'm like, who the hell told you that? Because that is an absolute untruth. You can absolutely nurture people in the Spree Fox, okay? Again, and I'm not taking anything away from Go High Level. I hear great things about Go High Level. I'm probably going to be using Go High Level for other business ventures that I'm seeking out as I expand to other different things. But for right now, the only thing I'm using for my credit repair business is the Spree Fox, okay? Everything. So when you come in, the Spree Fox already gives you standard forms. I believe you have 3. I don't remember. I feel like I built this out, and I probably did. See, this is from August, because I don't forget and I can delete it. So you guys don't get this one. But this is a partner sign-up form that I was showing probably somebody that, hey, you can go in, and if you want to have affiliate sign up, just go in, create in a form, like sign up to be an affiliate for you manually themselves. You can just come in, create a form, throw some questions in there, hit save, right? And then when you do that, you just take this form and then put it on the website. And when they fill out the form, they come in as an affiliate, right? Because ain't nobody got time to keep manually entering affiliates. And I hope that you are watching this. I hope that you are not manually entering in affiliates leads or clients either, because use these forms. Use these forms, y'all. Use the forms, all right? Okay, so free consultation. So if you are a person that's still doing consultations, even if you're not doing consultations, whatever, like if you look on my website, and I invite people to go look, pick at my website all the time. I'm actually in the process of redoing some things. So my website come January is going to look totally different. But yeah, I have a bunch of different stuff up here that you guys can kind of peek at. I have a pop-up form too. I'm not sure why my pop-up isn't popping up. It's going to make me up to beat. There you go. So even my pop-up form is the Sweet Fox web form. I normally give out a lead magnet. This is what I was talking about, the lead generation. So my pop-up form, which I need, this has been my lead magnet all year, y'all. This is going to show how much I've been paying attention to this stuff, right? But normally I would come in and I would change my lead magnet every month, right, on a good month, okay? But my pop-up form is the Sweet Fox form. My request a free credit analysis, this is also a Sweet Fox form, okay? Right, so this is how you can get your leads in the system, right? So basically, once they fill out this form, they hit submit, they come into my software as a lead, right? So I'm not gonna really go and complicate too much stuff for this, but this is if you wanted them to be assigned to somebody. You know, you could probably pretty much leave this stuff just blank, right? If you don't know what any of this stuff means, leave it blank. What I will highlight up here though is that you probably, when your leads hit submit for a free consultation, you want to put your redirect here. So do your appointment calendar here, right? Place your appointment calendar here. You can see some of my people automations I've been doing. Their links automatically pop up because I must have my cookies on, right? But if you was using like Score Fusion, if you was using MeetFox or something, you would just come in and click the drop link here for whatever appointment calendar you want here, put that there, and then click this, and it will put the MeetFox appointment calendar there, right? If you're not using MeetFox, and for guys who are probably like, what the hell is MeetFox? MeetFox is the Sweet Fox version of a calendar, all right? If you're not using MeetFox, then you would just place your URL, okay? And again, that's assuming you're still doing free consultations. You want folks to fill this out, hit submit, get redirected to your calendar to book an appointment, right? This is how I do it. I feel like some folks do it a little the reverse way. I don't want to say backwards. I'm going to say the reverse way, to where on their website is the appointment calendar, right? And then they have their appointment calendar, then using Zapier to zap them into the software, which then starts the automations, right? To me, that's a little complicated when it doesn't have to be, because one, things happen with Zapier, zaps fail, right? So it doesn't make sense to do that when you could just take your Sweet Fox web form that you're already paying for in your monthly subscription, right? Drag all the questions, just come in. It's so easy. It's drag and drop, right? You can even get the credit monitoring in here. Like if you want them to pull the credit monitoring, you can put that in here too, okay? And then when they hit submit, have it redirect to their calendar. Bam, no Zapier needed. Anything that I do for my credit repair side, you don't need Zapier, okay? So let's just say they fill out that, they come in as a lead, right? So now they say, hey, I want a consultation. They've been redirected to your calendar. They book the consultation with you. What they're then going to get is this lead one, this lead step one. This is all the Sweet Fox give you guys as a default. If you're going to build this out, which I'm going to show you how to build out in a second, just come in and hit yes. So that way, if you have other leads in the system, you want this to be yes. Reoccurring, I don't know. You might could say yes or no. It's kind of up to you if you want people to keep coming in with the same email and getting it again, if you want us to repeat, right? It's no right or wrong way to this, okay? But I would say yes, repeat, and then suspension criteria for me, because I'm going to show you guys real quickly how you can nurture your folks. I would come in and I would suspend this and I would say, okay, I'm going to build this out, right? But I want this to stop when the person becomes a client, right? Because if they become a client, they no longer need to keep getting emails and stuff to say, hey, book an appointment every day, right? Because they're already a client. They don't need to book an appointment, right? So you want the auto fax to automatically stop once this person actually signs up and become a client, okay? So, yeah, well, this is saying it's going to delay for 2 hours. I mean, you could change it. 2 hours is a little long. And I'm not sure if this was defaulted or did I do this. I don't know. But if you click on this and it is this long, I would say maybe delay minutes. I typically delay all my auto faxes with the exception of billing. I typically delay all my auto faxes like 5 minutes just in case, say you trigger something by accident and somebody filed, you have time to go to auto fax and you have time to suspend that from their file, right? So that they're not accidentally getting something they're not supposed to have, okay? So they come in, they get this little welcome thing. I don't know why dispute file. They don't give you any salutation, but you can say, hey, hi, whatever, how professional you want to be. Come in, hey, it's time to order your credit report, right? It's going to say save, right? And then they'll also get this. Now, keep in mind, Leads doesn't have, we don't have a lead app, so you don't necessarily, when you're doing your lead campaign, you don't have to do any app messages for leads because they don't have access to an app anyway. So it's just going to be straight text messages and straight email for them, okay? Same thing here, is letting them know, like, hey, we just got your email, you booked your appointment, order your credit report, right? And you can also add more details to here. Like, if you want to have any details to be like, you know, any additional details, like, hey, make sure you do this step before your appointment, or your appointment may have to be canceled, or whatever the case is. Because me personally, when I did used to do consultations, if they didn't order that credit report prior to the appointment, I was canceling it. Because I'm like, what are we talking about? You didn't even take your card out to pay the $1 to get your credit report. So what are we talking about, right? So I personally didn't do it. But I do know some folks who will cancel if they don't order that credit report prior to the appointment. Other folks will still go ahead with the appointment, and just cancel. Not cancel, and just have them order the credit report during the call, right? But that's just something I did. Because for me, what I noticed is if they didn't order the credit report prior to the appointment, for me, what I found out is that chances are of them actually signing up was like kind of slim. And I kind of like clients that come to me motivated, like ready to sign up, ready to work. I don't have, like, why am I spending an hour trying to convince you that your credit is bad and that you need to do this? Like, I don't have time for that. So I like people to come to me that's already motivated, know what they want to do. So, yeah. All right. So that's step one. So then you could come in. Now, I'm a little bit different. I have this step one. So I created a whole separate auto fax specifically with all my lead educational content. But again, I'm going to keep it simple for you guys. You do not need to create a whole new separate lead thing, just for nurturing content. You can build that out right here, right? So you have your step one. If you want to build this out for 6 months, 12 months, 2 years, 3 years, you would just literally continue to come in, add new step. So what's the new step? We're going to say, maybe we could say, call this here. Oh, look at this. I don't know. A tailored plan just for you. You can say delay after previous step. So not delay. If you want to build something out, always do after previous step. So that means they would get that first email first. Do you want to come minutes? Do you want it to come hours? Do you want it to come days? So maybe for the first couple of days, you might want stuff to come out every day. You might want it to come out every 2 days. So maybe I'm going to say I might start out, I'm like, okay, I want them to get this every 2 days, right? Bam. Then I'm going to come out and I'm going to say, and now this is in my business because these are emails. These are titles that I use in some of my stuff. So it's saving all my work, right? I might say, so here's one, how poor credit affects your business. I might say, so after previous step, again, days, like another 2 days, right? And then we're going to come in and we're going to add another. And then basically what you would do is, as I'm doing these, right, if you have content, like if you go and you have email content, nurturing content, you would just come in, right, do email, do your stuff up here. What is the subject? Who do you want the email to come from, right? And then you would just come in and add your content into the thing, okay? Add your content into the emails, okay, and hit save, okay? I can't hit save because I don't have that. So again, it's no, right, so just come in and then we could just say, let's see what it is. Okay, here's one, limited offer, right? Maybe you want to give them an offer. So after previous step, we want to say, days again. Maybe you want minutes. I like to do days because I like to just space stuff out. Maybe 3 days. So right here, this already is a week, right? We did 2 days, 2 days, and then 3 days. This is a week right here, right? So then maybe the next one after the week, you might want to come in and say, here's another title that I use. After the week, you might want to be like, all right, now let me go to every 5 days. Or I kind of switch from after every couple days. I kind of switch to every 7 days, right? So now they're going to get this one. You can start building it out to say every 7 days, right? And then maybe after a couple of 7 days, then you can switch to, okay, every 14 days. Every 14 days is going to be, basically the leads will be getting like twice a month, right? So you probably want to switch to so do maybe the first week or two, every 2-3 days, couple days, right? Like that first 2 weeks of the month. Then the next couple of weeks, maybe every 7 days, right? And then maybe by month 6, you're switching it to every 14 days. It's twice a month. So it's they're still getting content from you, but you're not overwhelming them, right? And then just kind of wrap that up at, month 12. Because I think 12 months of nurturing content is good enough. Because I'm if they ain't signed up in 12 months, they're not going to do it, okay? It's just something to keep in mind. Again, it's a lot of different things you can continue to tailor, particularly with leads, too. I want to highlight for you guys. So, again, you can do emails, you can do SMS. They don't have portal. You don't really need a task. They don't have portal access. But I want to highlight is the data fields. I think this is really important. So if you notice when you're looking at leads and it has the little fireball, they have 4 fires and then you can kind of go from there, right? What you can do is as the time goes on and leads are in the system, as they're not signing up or not responding to your things or opening up your emails, you can come in and you could change it to be oh yeah, on month 6 or month 2 or month 3, I want them to go from an interest level of 4 to an interest level of 3 and an interest level of 2 and then so on and so forth, right? And then this could really come in handy to where if you're building out, before I lie, because I feel like I did see this, but even if you can't do auto foxes like this, I feel like I saw somewhere where if you want to go to your dashboard and then maybe you want to filter out all your leads who are at a 3 or lower or something, right? So maybe give them a coupon or whatever. You can go in and you can filter them out by going to your dashboard by interest level, okay? So this is, again, something that you could do and just tell it out, okay? Again, real easy. It is a little time consuming because you see you have to come in, you have to keep doing all this stuff, putting in your offers. You probably will have to play with the formatting a little bit. If you know how to go into the source code, you can come in and change these emails to be your company colors, right? You can come in and you could do that. You could also come into emails. If you had email, you could come in and you could add, I gotta refresh this. You could come in and you could add photos, pictures. You could add headers and footers. I know I've seen some people do a welcome email from the CEO or owner. So you can do headers, you can do footers. If you want to add photos, you can come in. You can add photos here. Because a lot of people like to break up the text so that it's not, email, so it's not just words, it's pictures and stuff that's making it look nice. And again, you can continue this wash, rinse, repeat, okay? And then again, you don't have to worry about that stopping if you build it out super far in advance. It's going to automatically stop when that person turns into a client, okay? And let's just say, for the sake of illustration purposes, you want to do this for someone who is a client. You want to build a client nurturing campaign. Yes, you can do that too. And again, it's no right or wrong way to do your client nurturing campaign. It's just kind of up to you, but just kind of bring you back over here to web forms. Again, nobody, in my opinion, should be manually entering in clients. You can have clients fill out this web form. You can get their credit card information on the web form. You can have them upload their documents on the web form. Okay, you can do all of that and then hit save, right? And then obviously when they come in and hit save, they'll come in as a client. Okay, and then this would, depending on how you set up your automations, because it's not defaulted like this, you do have the option to come in, and once they come in as a client, you do have the options of coming in and then linking all of this onboarding stuff, right? So that it comes on and it's linked up, okay? And you can see for a little bit, I did start to try to link it up a little bit just for illustration, but it is a way to come in and then link all of your onboarding stuff so that you're completely hands off, and the only thing that you're doing is coming in and then manually setting up that invoice, right? Because I like hands off, okay? But the same thing with the clients, like if you want to do a client nurturing campaign, like once they finish their onboarding, you would just come in and create, I would call it marketing or maybe systems or whatever, but I would just come in. You see, I have lead nurturing campaign. Look, client nurturing campaign is right here. Conditions met. Depending on how many conditions you make, you can do any or all, like I already explained. Yes, repeat. I say I'm gonna call this. And then if you want to enable, so for me, I would say you would start your start condition. So maybe you want to say, for the sake of illustration purposes, because you don't have any custom settings, right? You could say, okay, I want this to start, when the customer becomes a client, right? And then you don't want them to continue to get all this stuff when they stop becoming a client, right? So maybe you have a stop condition that says maybe if they get turned back into a lead, or if their payment, well, not payment, for people payment fail all the time, but you would have to, let me see. Yeah, I didn't do any on here, but maybe you can do, like, you might have to come in your statuses, because I tweaked a lot of stuff in my accounts. But you could come in for illustration purposes to say, like, if this person became unpaid or if they became canceled or something to that effect. So, like, where they are not a client of yours anymore, when that happens, then this autofox will stop, right? So they're not continuing to get those client nurturing campaigns. And then again, the same thing how you just saw me do with the lead campaign. You can continue to just build that out as much as you want, just because by just going ahead and new step, you can continue to build that out, okay? All right. Again, if you have any questions about the lead campaigns or the nurturing campaigns, about the agreements, about how to set up billing, just let me know. All right, just give me 1 second because I'm looking at my phone. I'm going to make sure that I answered everybody's quick questions. Someone asked me about self-sign-up. For self-sign-up, I'm going to refer you back to my other video, which, by the way, y'all love that video. It is my most streamed video. It's like almost at 700 streams. It's crazy. And I'm going to do a remix to that, right? Because, I don't believe in gatekeeping to a certain extent. I don't believe in gatekeeping. So the remix of that, like how I'm redoing my whole process and my whole website, is going to be so fly, y'all. I'm going to share that with y'all. So, but yeah, for self-sign-up, I'm going to refer you back to that streamlining your onboarding process, because that video on my YouTube channel specifically talks about self-sign-up. And I don't want to make this video too long, because I did say it's going to be a quick video. So I'm going to end it here. So we talked about agreements, we talked about client leads, client nurturing, and we talked about how to set up billing reminders, okay? Again, this is a quick video. I'm going to come in and I'm going to try to do another video later this week where I go into more details about my automations, because I've been getting a lot of questions about that. So what I'm going to do is, with the permission of one of my automation clients, she said I could use her account, and I'm going to go into her account and I'm going to highlight without giving too much away, right? But I am going to go and highlight and do a walkthrough of everything that I set up. Um, how it works, how it's going to make our job easier. And then, hopefully to answer some questions for a lot of folks who have questions exactly about like what is the automation service and what exactly are you getting, like what are you paying for? Okay. All right. If this is it, guys, I will talk to you later. I will see you around in the group. Bye.